My name is Fenech, and I'm from the Gold Coast in Queensland, Australia, and I'm a guitar maker. If I'm not in my workshop hand making guitars, you'll most likely find me at the front surfing. It's the best start to any day. I read a quote once that knowing your passion in life gives you something to build the rest of your life around. Your passion can be anything that simultaneously challenges you, intrigues you and motivates you. It's contrary to the idea that doing what you love makes work effortless. A passion puts you to work. That's how I feel about making guitars. I've always loved making things with my hands. Some of my earliest memories of being a kid was making things out of scrap parts and wiring up old fan motors to turn gears so that I could drag a plastic toy from one side of the room to the other. In my teenage years, during my apprenticeship, I started experimenting with making things from timber. I lived with a bunch of guys in North Queensland and we got right into spearfishing, and we couldn't buy any of these amazing American-made spear guns that we'd see in magazines, so we started laminating timber and making our own. We even made our own skateboards and surfboards and things like that. I guess that was really the first realisation that if I put my mind to it, there's really nothing I can't make. When I started playing guitars in my early 20s, right away I was really curious about what made guitars work. Like, how's this thing making sound? What makes a good guitar? What makes a great guitar? Why is a guitar even this shape? I wonder if other shapes would work. I wondered if I could ever make one. Upon reflection, looking back at all the things I've done in my life which have led me to making guitars, it really started with my first apprenticeship in automotive spray painting. When I left school, I actually went and did a spray painting apprenticeship, which I actually really hated at the time, but consequently I became pretty good at it. And I guess that's probably where that fine, or the understanding of working with really fine tolerances and sanding things so that they're absolutely straight and getting surface preparation right. And it gave me a really keen eye for detail. That morphed into working with some friends who were doing carpentry at that time, and I eventually went on to complete a ticket as a carpenter. And I guess it's probably where my first love affair with working with timber really started. In my early 20s, I applied to do a science degree at university, and was fortunate enough to be accepted, and it was probably a real life-changing thing for me, being able to learn about science. I did a degree that had quite a few engineering subjects in it, which all in all, if you look at the spray painting, the carpentry and what I studied in science, the whole lot of it is embodied inside a guitar. It's looking at the way a guitar top works and the way the physics behind a guitar. It's a lot more mathematics, a lot more physics and a lot more engineering than people think. And then of course there's the art side of it, where you're matching timbers, you're matching colours, you're looking at particular inlays, and that's where that, I guess the creative side gets to step in. Fenech Guitars is a small family-run company. We make high-quality handmade guitars. We pride ourselves on using the very best timbers and materials, and we have built our reputation on producing some of the finest guitars that are available. Given that we only produce a small number of guitars each year, I guess by comparison to other guitar companies, this enables us to undertake a unique approach to planning and sourcing the very best materials to handcraft our instruments each year. Quite often, we pick and choose less than 50 sets of backs and sides from over hundreds that may be available of a particular tone wood that we're seeking, and that really ensures we're getting the very best for our customers. We tend to drive our suppliers mad sometimes, as the criteria we set for our timber selection is really quite high right across the board. When it comes to sourcing our soundboards for our guitars, we apply that same strict criteria, and where possible our tops are personally inspected to ensure that the material properties are exactly what we're looking for. Of course, it's not just having the right ingredients. You still need to know how to bring them together to make something special, as there's so many aspects to making a great guitar. It's about having the understanding of how to achieve this, along with treating each and every guitar as an individual rather than something on a production line. And that's something that we really pride ourselves on. No two pieces of timber will have the same material properties, and so the art lies in understanding those material properties that you're working with and being able to know how to manipulate them to enhance the voice of the guitar, to bring the voice of that guitar out. The guitar maker needs to understand how the different modes of vibration work on a guitar and how they can be influenced by shaping the braces, the positioning of the braces, adding mass in certain areas, or sometimes taking it away. This takes time, and this knowledge is built over years of making loads of guitars. Really, it's these aspects blended with our unique guitar shapes, the tone and the volume of our instruments, and the look and the feel of our guitars is what really sets us apart. We love it when people come into our workshop on the Gold Coast to try our guitars. We love the reaction that people have when they come in and smell the timber, see our guitars being made, and get to speak to the maker of those guitars. It's a really personal thing. Guitars are a piece of functional art, hopefully that will last for generations if cared for. We want our guitars to be handed down through generations, but most importantly, we want them to inspire people, musicians, artists, to play and write songs on and start their own journey. Currently, you can only purchase our guitars directly through us. However, this year will be the first year that we offer a select number of guitars to a very small bunch of retailers across Australia, the US and Japan. I'm driven by it, maybe even obsessed by it. I often go to sleep thinking about how I can improve on my guitar designs. How can I make them better? How can I create more volume, enhance the tone? How can I get the guitar to look better and feel better? And then I wake up thinking the exact same thing. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm obsessed.